jobs casting spells and getting people to work overtime, and I was immune because I'm a minor wizard.
Very annoying.
Alright, everyone. Welcome to the Stoa. Today we have Zoe Kurza with us today with a session called Reality Distortion Fields and Unconscious Mind Dynamics. Zoe is someone I follow on Twitter, and she's sort of in the post-rat or post-rat adjacent spaces. This year at the Stoa, I was thinking I just want to
Was excited by the thread and that so many people were responding to it, and I hope this is valuable for everyone.
This is the girl that lives in the
hope you'll be forgiving of the presentation format if it's a little messy.
This girl represents the very top part of my brain.
So I gave myself
She lives in there. She's very beautiful. But she had to come down. She had to come downstairs and be like, "What's this ruckus?" She experienced it in her own life. She wouldn't be presenting such a fantastic upstairs loft without it being the top of my brain at this time. Reality distortion fields, she says.
I'm going to
She went deep.
And
she wants to tell on me, see what she's found.
Point years. Can you guys all see that? Good. Cool. All right. I'm gonna stand because I think better when I stand. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I like her when she stands up.
Yeah. I'm Zoe. Let's see.
Cut to the list.
How did I come to this? I just kind of want to introduce myself. To all of you, I'm probably mostly like some girl on the internet. Feel free to capitalize all of those letters.
My video, I've already been here.
I care about this a lot. It's consumed my attention for most of the past couple of years, and the reason is because for some reason, part of my life story was to have my reality seriously, majorly distorted by multiple figures in various ways in my path. So I became kind of obsessed with it as a sense-making necessity, really. What were these experiences? What was this phenomenology? What was going on? How could I integrate this into a world that didn't seem to have language for it? Or all the language that I knew for it.
See, what she's basically saying is people have a field around them, especially when they're narcissists, and it fucked her world up. And she was trying to articulate the weirdness because of, I'm pretty sure most of her list there contains gang stalking phenomenon. Because she said someone's actively trying to fuck with your reality because they're fucked up. And basically, the wisdom is that she goes back into grounding her own self. But she seems to be pretty on point, having come downstairs, "What's this ruckus?" saying, "Hey, let me look at this." So this is actually quite interesting that she's taken this topic on. She said there's no language for it because there's not. People don't, you can't articulate with words the sort of borderland of that field on both ways if it goes around people. You just don't. There's not really language for it yet. She's got a nice list. And then somewhere about the middle where if it's love and somebody loves you or you love them, it's like one of those continental plates laying on top of the other. Which area is the subduction zone? Hey, what if they don't even love you? Then they butt up and make a mountain.
So, the thing I'm talking about, I think has overlap with all these things. Like, I think people who have reality distortion fields in the extreme tend to be narcissistic. They tend to also be good at gaslighting, or consciously or unconsciously. At least a sense of dependence tends to emerge from the people who are kind of caught in their field. They tend to be charismatic. I think it's hard to distort other people's reality without being charismatic, whatever that means. It's like a little poorly defined. I think, and again, I'm not defining it purposefully. I'm kind of circling. I think being caught in somebody's reality distortion field can definitely actually create extreme power differentials that wouldn't be there maybe otherwise. Sorry, I'm making a...
It's okay.
Do this thing so I can see.
We're going to take all of our time. We're going to fall back to...
Because they're crafting a reality that's convenient to them in some sense. We're going to talk...
Part of a wonderful question. Or they made a statement, it was Denise. Denise said that the Amish and that the Native Americans didn't want to have their picture taken. And then because of the... I think, what did you say? The reasoning was that the spirits can manipulate the electrical fields around the image. So now when this lady, when I got, see, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put her in the reface, because I need a background female lady character sometimes when I change the face and there's multiple faces. And listen to what she says. I thought it was funny. I thought it was odd the first time, but now I've just come back just to get the screenshot of the face, and I took the guy's face too. I'm not being sexist. We'll all go the same. I don't want to be. And then I'll just overlay this with something else that. That a vagina, that song.
Alright, everyone. Welcome to the Stoa.
You're going to be Alfred.
Today we have Zoe Kurza with us today with a session called Reality Distortion Fields and Unconscious Mind Dynamics.
I've never seen that.
Zoe is someone I follow on Twitter, and she's sort of in the post-rat,
Twitter people.
Post-rat adjacent spaces.
I don't know what that means.
And this year at the Stoa, I was thinking I just want to highlight and spotlight people who are doing interesting intellectual philosophical work. And,
we're all doing that.
Odd corners of the internet.
No one understands mine.
And Zoe is definitely.
We got the oddest corner of the internet too.
Tweet thread on reality.
I think we can combine our forces now.
I first heard that phrase.
Like what you're gonna stay on as a face.
I think it's also.
You're gonna represent the new Joe Blow.
People who kind of just can manipulate reality.
Ones. That's what we're learning how to do.
And make
very nice
happen.
Beard action going on.
And Zoe's using that in similar, but
we're already doing that. But we're being mindful of our whirlwind electrical shearing edge that is being caused by it, because he did that motion. Obviously, she had some negative effects with it. We're trying to be mindful of that field's entry space into the next person's field space. If that makes sense. Go on, brother.
Slightly different context here with unconscious mind dynamics. So how today's going to work, I'm going to...
Because those are the underworld. When you're going into your own self, you're in the underworld. That's your subconscious. This came up on another show too, where they were doing the astral projection studies. The Stargate Institute, Walter Monroe's ability to gather information from remote viewing, and the actual realm that it's traveled into is slightly different depending upon the person, and they suggested that we're going within our own self. I suggest worse than that. I suggest we're going into a simultaneous inside and outside. I suggest even worse than you. I think the occult. I suggest that you're fucking it up, asshole. That's the point going on.
Megan Zoe in a minute. She's going to present and share her thoughts on the topic, and then we'll pivot to a Q&A open discussion. And if you have questions at any time, just put them in the chat. I'll call on you, and you can unmute yourself and ask your question to Zoe. This will be on YouTube, so if you don't want to be on YouTube, just indicate that in the chat. I'll read your question on your behalf.
Even onto his shoulder with as much as I've watched.
Zoe, welcome to the Stoa.
Thanks, Peter.
Look, that's...
I feel like an anchor on a newscast. Thank you, Peter.
You are.
For the weather.
She knows.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Thank you for...
Doesn't she look like Greta Thunberg grown up and just a little more to the attractive side? Well, if she doesn't now, she will when she stands up, and you're not going to get that because I'm changing this off. But I'm going to take these faces that I use because I already used them. And there's some fine print in what they do with the faces anyway, so I've already had to go through the terms of service. They're probably going to make robot faces with my face. I know, isn't that fucked up? But it's not like I'm worried about them catching me on camera and, oh, we got him, look, he showed his face, he looked up. I'm not going to be committing any crimes lately. They've already got my DNA too. The police. I was a murder suspect while having my second child. So think about that. And it was because somebody knew me and I had a beard and long hair. Ain't that a bitch? Anyway, we'll leave her alone, but we're going to see her in the next episodes.